we've all been waiting for. I picked up the X5 from San Limel. He got the trailing arms finished. Everything is reassembled and installed on the car, except for a few minor things that I got to finish up, and we'll kind of go over that. I'm going to flip around and show you the car, but I want you to understand that I picked up 3 to 4 inches of travel. Excuse me, not travel. I gained 3 to 4 inches of ground clearance. So the way it's sitting right now at ride height, I have about 20 to 21 inches of ground clearance off the lowest part of the frame, which is just below the transmission, where I used to struggle to get 15 to 17. Really had to crank the ride height to be able to get 17 inches out of it. And now, at a good duning ride height that the car is supposed to be at, I'm at 20 inches of clearance. I'm going to try to show you how this picked up so much extra ground clearance by showing you the differences between the trailing arms and what Joe Fab did. So I have the old trailing arm sitting right underneath the new trailing arm. And if we slide this thing under here, first of all, let's look at shock placement. The old coilover sat forward of the axle down in the arm, just aft the center, where on the new trailing arm, you can see that the coilover sits on top of the arm, where before it sat down in this X. So by bringing it up, that's going to lift the whole car up and give you more ride height. The bypass used to sit up here. So now you can see the bypass is aft of the coilover, and so you can see it's kind of centering right over the axle. So that's going to put a lot of the load back on the tire where it belongs, where, you know, I kind of think before it was sitting up front and you're putting the load kind of, you know, little aft the center of the trailing arm, which is really putting a lot of load on the heims. Just my opinion. These new trailing arms are stout. So what I've got left to do is I told Joe I would go ahead and be responsible for running the brake lines, getting those secured and fastened up. So we got our new 934 axles cut from Gear 1. They did a fantastic job as usual. Parker took good care of us. We have the Gear 1 6-piston caliper brakes. We have the Joe Fab fabricated rear trailing arm. All brand new heims. Take a look at the other side here. He repositioned the limiting strap mounts to line up with the new trailing arms. I still have to reposition the shock reservoir, slide it forward a little bit to give more clearance. Let's look at another benefit of this midboard upgrade, and that is because I went with the Gear 1 super greasers, I can now come out here to the outboard side and I can take the grease cap off and I can grease the bearing, or I can grease the CV without having to pull the boot. The new mounting versus the old, I mean, this thing is stout. Way stronger than it used to be. Not that there was any problem with the way it was. It never broke, it never failed. However, this one looks like you can drive it over a cliff and the shocks will still be assembled. I just want to show you the quality of work that Joe and Brandon did. They did an excellent job, in my opinion. Hey, let's see what these trailing arms would look like if Doug's X5 happened to jump over your head. Well, I'm here to tell you I am super excited to get this thing out in the dunes. Like 45, 60 days to go before dune season. If you have a buckshot and you want to do something like this, don't be afraid. If you're from the Phoenix area, give Joe Fab a call. He'll hook you up along with GEARONE for your midboards that you can grease on the fly. As you know, I'm super excited to be able to get this thing in the dunes and test this thing out. I cannot wait. And if you guys haven't already, subscribe if you want to follow along and see how this thing handles. Also, if you like videos like this, make sure you give us a thumbs up, comment below, and share with your friends.